Consumer Price Index, April 2024. Transmission of material in this release is embargoed until 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday, May 15, 2024. The Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers, CPI-U, increased 0.3% in April on a seasonally adjusted basis, after rising 0.4% in March, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today. Over the last 12 months, the All Items Index increased 3.4% before seasonal adjustment. The index for shelter rose in April, as did the index for gasoline. Combined, these two indexes contributed over 70% of the monthly increase in the index for all items. The energy index rose 1.1% over the month. The food index was unchanged in April. The food at home index declined 0.2%, while the food away from home index rose 0.3% over the month. The index for all items less food and energy rose 0.3% in April, after rising 0.4% in each of the three preceding months. Indexes which increased in April include shelter, motor vehicle insurance, medical care, apparel, and personal care. The indexes for used cars and trucks, household furnishings and operations, and new vehicles were among those that decreased over the month. The All Items Index rose 3.4% for the 12 months ending April, a smaller increase than the 3.5% increase for the 12 months ending March. The All Items Less Food and Energy Index rose 3.6% over the last 12 months. The Energy Index increased 2.6% for the 12 months ending April. The Food Index increased 2.2% over the last year. Food. The Food Index was unchanged in April after increasing 0.1% in March. The index for food at home decreased 0.2% in April. 3 of the 6 major grocery store food group indexes decreased over the month, while the remaining 3 had price advances. The index for meats, poultry, fish, and eggs decreased 0.7% in April, led by a 7.3% decline in the index for eggs. The Fruits and Vegetables Index declined 0.8% over the month, and the Non-Alcoholic Beverages Index fell 0.2%. The index for cereals and bakery products increased 0.6% in April, after decreasing 0.9% in March. The index for other food at home and the index for dairy and related products both increased 0.1% over the month. The Food Away from Home Index rose 0.3% in April, as it did in March. The index for limited service meals rose 0.4%, and the index for full service meals increased 0.3% over the month. The Food at Home Index rose 1.1% over the last 12 months. The index for other food at home rose 1.4% over the 12 months ending in April, and the index for fruits and vegetables increased 1.7% over the year. The Non-Alcoholic Beverages Index increased 2.3% over that period. The index for meats, poultry, fish, and eggs rose 1.0% over the 12 months ending in April, and the index for cereals and bakery products increased 0.6% over the same period. In comparison, the Dairy and Related Products Index fell 1.3% over the year. The index for food away from home rose 4.1% over the last year. The index for limited service meals rose 4.8% over the last 12 months, and the index for full service meals rose 3.4% over the same period. Energy. The Energy Index rose 1.1% in April, the same increase as in March. The Gasoline Index increased 2.8% in April. Before seasonal adjustment, gasoline prices rose 5.2% in April. The Fuel Oil Index increased 0.9% in April. In contrast, the index for natural gas fell 2.9% in April, and the index for electricity decreased 0.1% over the month. The Energy Index increased 2.6% over the past 12 months. The Gasoline Index rose 1.2%, and the Electricity Index increased 5.1% over this 12-month span. In contrast, the index for natural gas decreased 1.9% over the last 12 months, and the index for fuel oil fell 0.8% over the same period. All items less food and energy. The index for all items less food and energy rose 0.3% in April. The shelter index increased 0.4% in April and was the largest factor in the monthly increase in the index for all items less food and energy. The index for rent rose 0.4% over the month, as did the index for owner's equivalent rent. The lodging away from home index decreased 0.2% in April, after rising 0.1% in March. The motor vehicle insurance index rose 1.8% in April, following a 2.6% increase in March. The index for apparel increased 1.2% over the month. The indexes for personal care, recreation, and education also increased in April. The medical care index rose 0.4% in April after rising 0.5% in March. The index for hospital services rose 0.6% over the month, and the index for physician services increased 0.1%. The prescription drugs index rose 0.2% in April. The index for used cars and trucks fell 1.4% in April, following a 1.1% decrease in March. Over the month, the household furnishings and operations index fell 0.5%. The new vehicles index decreased 0.4%, and the airline fares index declined 0.8%. The index for all items less food and energy rose 3.6% over the past 12 months. The shelter index increased 5.5% over the last year, accounting for over 2/3 of the total 12-month increase in the all items less food and energy index. Other indexes with notable increases over the last year include motor vehicle insurance, plus 22.6%, medical care, plus 2.6%, personal care, plus 3.7%, and recreation, plus 1.5%. Not seasonally adjusted CPI measures. The Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers, CPI-U, increased 3.4% over the last 12 months to an index level of 313.548. 1982 minus 84 equals 100. For the month, the index increased 0.4% prior to seasonal adjustment. The Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, CPI-U, increased 3.4% over the last 12 months to an index level of 307.811. 1982 minus 84 equals 100. For the month, the index increased 0.4% prior to seasonal adjustment. The Chained Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers, CPI-U, increased 3.2% over the last 12 months. For the month, the index increased 0.4% on a not seasonally adjusted basis. Please note that the indexes for the past 10 to 12 months are subject to revision. The Consumer Price Index for May 2024 is scheduled to be released on Wednesday, June 12, 2024, at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.